Welcome to Module 3, which is Chapter 4 in the Automated Quantities Manual, working with linear entities. The objective of this chapter is to teach the student how to set up the design file, which will contain linear entities such as curb and gutter, guardrail, traffic separators, etc. The designer will use EMX for placement and to append data to already placed line work along with ad hoc additions. This chapter covers linear entities that are already placed or need to be placed in the design drawing file. The entities that are already placed will either have the pay item data, which is also known as X data, attached, or will need the X data to be attached using EMX. Using the EMX drawing tools, the designer can draw line work with the X data attached and have confidence it is on the correct layer and using the correct line type. Using the append function in EMX will force the target line type to take on all of the settings of the selection you make in EMX. In other words, it will change a line type, layer, color, symbology to the FDOT standard along with the appropriate X data that will then QC and also quantify in reports. For detailed information on EMX, please refer to Chapter 2 of this manual. The advantage of Civil 3D is some of the line work will come from the corridor model in the form of feature lines, which are either 2D or 3D. The roadway designer should keep this in mind when the model is complete, that the line work should be extracted for use with quantities. So the first exercise we're going to do is exercise 4.1, which is drawing new guardrail and appending to existing guardrail. And this is part 1 of this exercise. And the designer will draw new guardrail line work using the EMX drawing tools, utilizing different techniques. So if you haven't already opened the state kit, please do so now. And if it's already open the dsgnrd01.dwg file located in the roadway folder of your project. As you can see, it's open now. This is what it looks like. Next, we need to insert a block called linear entities. So on your command line or just anywhere, type I for insert, hit enter. Insert block dialog box opens. Select browse and browse to your data set, your data project number, and located in the roadway folder is a block called linear entities. Select open. Make sure the insertion point is untoggled. We want it to come in at the correct coordinates. We do want the block to explode, so select the explode option and go ahead and select OK. Next, we want to open EMX, so on the FDOT ribbon, select Entity Manager. Make sure the database is still pointing to the correct location, which is within your project. And we want to type in a pay item number to find. So within the pay item search box, type in 0536 and 10, which is the Guardrail Roadway General Low Speed TL-2. So zoom in to roughly station 706 along the curve here. With the guardrail still selected, select the offset command from EMX. Enter in 1 for 1 foot. You can see the command line's looking for feedback. So I'm going to select the back of the sidewalk and select the far side and left click and hit enter to bring EMX back up. Now you do have to hit regen, so type in RE, enter. You can see that the offset line turns into the guardrail If you hover over it, it's on the correct layer and has the correct X data attached to it. So what it did is it offset the sidewalk line and converted it to the correct symbology from our selection here. So before continuing, save the drawing file. So part 2 of the exercise, we're going to append some X data to already placed guardrail. So continue working in the DSGNRD01 file, zoom or pan to the intersection, and we're going to append X data to this guardrail here. Now if you hover over it, it tells you it's a feature line, a style, and a layer. That's all the data that it has on it. So with the selection still the same, which is the 53610 guardrail, select the Append button located on top of EMX next to the ID button. Left click on it, left click on your target, and then hit enter. Now if we hover over the guardrail, we can see extra data attached to it. The pay item number, category, alignment, layer, and the handle. Now continue adding to the adjacent guardrail. Now you can select multiple segments at one time if you wanted to, or you can select one at a time. You could also isolate objects, isolate the guardrail that's already drawn, so you could window and place it to make it quicker. So there's different methods and techniques you can use to append X data efficiently. Also, we want to append to the bottom side of this intersection. Select the TL to right, which is the same pay item number, it just changes the line type. So select the append, select the two segments going around the intersection, around the curve. Notice this is guardrail LT, so switch back to the LT. And you'll know if you do something incorrect because the line type will flip and your guardrail will not look correct. Save your file before continuing. Next, we're going to do exercise 4.2, which is drawing and appending X data to traffic separators. This is part 1 of this exercise, and we will be drawing line work that represents a traffic separator in the first part of this exercise, and then append X data to an already placed segment. Continue working in the DSGNRD01 file, and with EMX open, type in 0520511. Now if you're typing in the exact pay item number, keep in mind you must enter the spaces. But in this case we see the one that we want. We'll click on it, and it is the traffic separator concrete type 1, 4 feet wide. So let's pan the drawing here, and you can see two circles down here at this end of the traffic separator in the median, and up toward the intersection we have two more circles, and we also have a arc that's drawn. So what we're going to do is draw a polyline and connect these. So let's zoom in so we can get to the end point, or the center of this circle here. And we want the end point here. And then we want to repeat the process and go back to here, to this circle. Okay, so now here's our traffic separator, and we've already drawn it. There's nothing. Now since we use the polyline command from EMX, if we hover over the median that we just drew, you can see it already has the appropriate X data on it, and there's nothing to append. Now, to do part 2 of this exercise, we're going to append X data to an already drawn traffic separator. So with the selection still set, hit the append button up top, the plus, and pick all 3 segments in any order. Hit enter, and now you can see the X data is attached. And for a handy tip, you can always tell if X data is attached if you see the truck symbol along with that extra data. So if you hover over a line and you do not have a truck symbol, such as this face of curb here, that indicates does not have data. And now we'll go to the exercise 4.3, which is appending X data to curb and gutter. Now in this exercise, we're going to append the X data to the curb face all at once using EMX. So continue working in the DSGN-RD file, and for the pay item number to search and find on EMX is 052017. So it's up top here. So what we want to do is we want to isolate the curb face. So we have 2 buttons on the home ribbon under layers, and we have an isolate button and an unisolate. So we want to select isolate, and the command line is asking for what layer do you want to isolate. So let's zoom in and pick any of the face of curb, and now we zoom out, we have all of our curb visible. Now this is just only the face of curb. So with our selection set and the plus button selected to append, just window, just as you would in any AutoCAD situation, put your mouse down, left click, drag up, and include everything in the box, and left click again. You see it's highlighted, hit enter, hover over the curb face, and X data is attached, and then select unisolate to cut everything back on. The final exercise in Chapter 4 is exercise 4.4, associating an alignment to entities. In this exercise, the designer will associate the current alignment that EMX uses before appending X data to the guardrail. Although there is only one default alignment in this file, the steps are the same, and the designer will need to be aware of this scenario. So continuing in the DSGN-RD file, on EMX, switch to the Alignments tab, and currently there is only one alignment shown, which is the State Route 61. If there were multiple alignments, they would appear here in the pull down or here in the tree view. And a quick tip on how to quickly navigate to an item in EMX. If you select the ID button and zoom in, for instance, let's select the guardrail here, left click and hit enter, it pulls up the item here. So this is a handy way to quickly get to a entity or an object that you need to draw in a quick manner instead of typing in a pay item number to find or browsing through the tree. Now let's say, for instance, that you wanted to change the association of an alignment if there were more than one visible. You would ID select the guardrail like you did, select this blue pay item, which is a link. It opens the Edit Entity Attribute Adhoc box, and you can see here it also has a list of alignments. So you could either change it here from the pull down or the selection box and pick the alignment, hit apply and close, and that would change your association for that entity to a different alignment. And it may be important to do that based on the type of report you are running. Go ahead and hit close. You can close EMX, save your file, and this concludes Chapter 4.